Welcome back to the second half of the program. Our focus this hour is cryotherapy. Now, I know you're familiar with the process of using super cooled liquid nitrogen to freeze part of the skin to remove either cancer cells or a blemish of some form. And so the power of this super cold nature of things has been known to medicine for quite a while. But today we're talking about something different. Whole body cryotherapy is we're going to start with. You're exposing your body to extreme cold for just a couple of minutes to reduce pain, ease inflammation, speed recovery after a tough workout or a tough day on the field. It's all very interesting to me, and I'll share with you my experience of going into a chamber, and I think we get down to 182 below zero. So let's talk to Leah Eber. She is the manager of iCRYO at 405 East Coliseum Boulevard, the first franchise in Fort Wayne. Good to have you here.
Hi, yes, thank you so much for having me today.
I want to explain a little bit about all of this, but start with the big idea. Why am I going into this cold, and how is it affecting my body?
Yes, good question. So we've used cold for many years as a part of our healing, right? You get injured, you put ice on it. If you're an athlete, maybe you get an ice bath. This is just taking it to a whole different level. So basically with cryotherapy, what it does is it targets inflammation and it targets whole body pain relief.
So tell me more about that. What's happening in my body? What's the cold doing to reduce inflammation?
Yes. So what's happening once you're in the extreme cold for a few minutes, actually your blood is pulling to the middle of your body. It's going to protect your vital organs first. And then as it's doing that, it's actually reoxygenating, which means it's kind of, re-nourishing itself. And then once you go out into the normal temperature, what it does is it goes back to the other parts of your body, the extremities, and it targets those areas of inflammation and helps heal them.
So my experience was, came to the center, and you give me a pair of slippers, socks, gloves, and a mask, and you have to go into the chamber completely dry, which is why you give me socks, right? Because my socks might have moisture in them. You want them totally dry, so that's why I'm wearing your socks. You go into the chamber, and the chamber is you stand up. And for those of you with a little claustrophobia, you can have the window open or closed. I went closed. So what's the temperature that we started out at?
Yeah, so the beginner level is negative 166 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yikes. And I think my temperature got down to about 180 before it was all over with. So minus 166. How is it that it's surprising that it doesn't feel that cold? I mean, it's cold, but you're thinking, wow, this is going to be brutal, but it's not.
Yeah, your body's constantly adapting. Your blood is flowing and your body is just adapting to those cold temperatures. It's kind of, putting your body in a state of shock. So your body's reacting and helping heal.
Yeah, so for 3 minutes you're in the chamber, and you want to see a 50-degree temperature drop at the surface of the skin.
Correct.
And so we got there, and then I noticed after I got out, the cold kind of felt like it was still seeping in. For a while, I guess, or I would guess up to about half an hour, you felt a little chilled.
Yeah.
Not in a negative way, but it was really interesting, and that it's totally dry, cold, and there's no wind. So it's not like you're out in the middle of a winter storm. I just found it real interesting. So people are coming back. How often? Who's coming? Who does this benefit? All those questions.
Sure, that's a good question. It honestly benefits everyone. If you're someone who has pain, which most of us do, if you're someone who has inflammation, which all of us do, this is really going to benefit you. You can do it even every single day and be perfectly fine.
So my session was, I think, $10. It's not terribly expensive.
Right.
So it was interesting to just go experiment with that. And you also do some other things that we're going to talk about in just a second. But let's talk about this from a condition standpoint. So if I have osteoarthritis, how does this help me?
Sure. We have a lot of people who come in with arthritis, especially rheumatoid arthritis, just to help with pain relief, to help, kind of target that inflammation and things like that. And we've seen it significantly help their pain reduction.
And let's say I've torn a muscle or strained a tendon or a ligament, something like that. Can it help me there?
Absolutely. Yeah, people come in with injuries all the time. And again, it's sometimes just putting ice on something isn't enough. You need that deeper healing, which is what the cryotherapy can give you because it's so cold. It's so much colder than a normal ice bath or just, like a pack of ice or something like that.
So I was at the beginner level. If I want to get more serious about it, how cold can you go?
Yes, so we can actually get down to negative 220 degrees.
Yikes.
Yes.
Do I feel that much difference from 160 to 180 to 220? Does it feel that much colder?
It does. The biggest thing is the temperature drop. Some people don't get the 30 to 50 degree recommended temperature drop. So that's when we know, okay, you've got to go up a level. You've got to keep going until your body does adapt and get that temperature drop of the 30 to 50 degrees.
Is that driven by the amount of adipose tissue, the amount of fat I have on my body?
It actually kind of just depends. Everyone is so different. Their hormone levels, how hot they get, how warm they get, or how cold or how warm, different things like that affect the temperature.
Now, I read that cryotherapy is documented to improve anxiety and depression. A couple of studies pointed that out. Help me understand how that works. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Good question. So it actually affects the way your brain reacts. Again, it's just putting your body in an increased metabolic state. Your brain is working, your heart is working, all of your vital organs, and it's just kind of helping change the chemistry of all of that. Your body's in a state of reaction. So that's kind of how it's going to help adapt the brain and have the brain kind of be more stimulated.
So what's the connection to endorphins? Did I read that it stimulates the release of endorphins?
Yes, actually it does. People who do cryotherapy are known to have increased moods in a positive way. So it does help with that. It also helps with sleep as well.
What's the connection there?
Yeah, so it helps with the melatonin release in your body.
And I noticed that I just felt a little brighter, a little more energetic afterwards, and I guess that's expected. That's one of the benefits. But what's causing that to happen?
Yeah, so our slogan is Elevate Your Health. So when you are in the cryotherapy and the cold temperatures, it really does kind of re-nourish and reboost your body. Your body has adapted from a cold temperature. You step outside and, you're in a normal, warmer environment, and your body just has a new, nourished state.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you're an athlete. I know you were a Purdue student and I think a long jump and a runner, so track and field kind of stuff.
Yes.
Did you come to this because of that athletic background and injuries that you suffered?
Yes, that was a big part of it. This isn't something that I had ever heard of when I was, in high school or in college and things like that. And as an athlete, recovery is huge. I mean, it has the ability to take you to the next level with sports. So that is something I was very passionate about. I have had some pretty severe injuries in the past, and, any way to help recover quicker, I was always very interested in and passionate about.
And I guess that's why when I was there at iCRYO, I saw what looked like a bunch of high school athletes going into the chamber. What are they doing?
Yeah, so iCRYO or cryotherapy is known to help with recovery and performance. We help athletes, really anyone, but we have had a lot of athletes come in as they're training and just help recover and help increase their performance.
Just get them back on the field in a better state.
Exactly.
Headaches and migraines supposedly respond to this as well. Tell me more about how that works.
Yes, so we offer Cryo Facials. People do come in with pretty severe migraines. We actually have a staff member who gets migraines almost every day, and she gets Cryo Facials, and it helps take those away so that she can work. So what it does is the Cryo Facials start at negative 260 degrees, and it comes out a spout, and then we just give the person a facial. It goes over their head, their face, their neck, their scalp. The cold really helps target those areas of inflammation, helps stimulate the blood and everything like that, and it really has proven to reduce migraines significantly. Migraines are often related to blood flow issues, so I could see how that would redirect some of that blood flow pattern. Sure.
How cold did you say that is?
Negative 260. body.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're not freezing the skin.
No, because it's constantly moving over your face, so you're never in one spot for too long. And actually, the machine kind of monitors the skin temperature so that it doesn't harm anybody.
And what is that doing to the surface of my skin? Is it changing the appearance of my skin?
So actually, it's known to tighten your skin. People also come in who have acne or skin conditions like psoriasis, eczema, things like that. It's supposed to improve skin conditions and help smooth and tighten the pores as well.
Hey, we are talking this half hour with Leah Eber. She is the manager of iCRYO, a cryotherapy center that's recently opened here in Fort Wayne. They're up on Coliseum Boulevard, right at the intersection of Coliseum and Coldwater. Is that correct? Yeah, Coliseum and Coldwater. Yeah, that's right. So I was there and did whatever it was, 160, 180 below, 0 in the cryotherapy chamber. Thought that was pretty interesting, kind of dug it. But you do a lot more there. We talked a little bit about the Cryo Facials, but there's also a compression therapy that you do, which really has nothing to do with cold. But tell me more about what that is doing for me and how it works.
Sure. So the compression therapy, what it does is it gives your body a lymphatic massage. So it's really going to help kind of massage the body and work out all the toxins and then the impurities. It's also going to help remove lactic acid buildup in your body. So we actually have those compression units for your legs, your hip and back, and then also for your arms.
So it looked very comfortable. You're in a sort of a recliner, and you put these sleeves over you almost, and then what, they pulse with air?
They do. So they compress tightly, and then they decompress, and then there's a movement just back and forth for up to 30 minutes.
Oh man, that actually sounds kind of nice.
Yeah, it's very relaxing.
I'll bet so. And body shaping. Now, I'm curious about this one. How does cold reduce fat?
Sure. So with our body sculpting, it's actually permanent fat loss.
So how does that work?
How does that work? So the cold actually is able to kill the fat cell. So the fat cell bursts completely and it's flushed out of your body. So once the cell is killed, then the fat can't come back.
So you are subdermally freezing the tissue? You're able to get the cold to go below the skin without damaging the skin?
Correct.
And how much, you're not going to turn me into Arnold with this. I mean, how much weight, how much size can you lose?
Sure. So the average amount lost per session is 1.67 inches on average each time.
Every time I'm losing 1.6 inches?
Yes.
Now you're not, so total circumference.
Correct. Around we measure your waist. Yes.
And does that happen just with one session? Do I have to do multiples?
Yeah, so we actually offer free consultations for the body sculpting. That way we can kind of determine, people's goals and how much they're kind of wanting to lose, things like that. And then we kind of recommend how many sessions they would need.
And are you doing just the waist? Are you doing thighs, legs, buttocks, that kind of thing?
Yeah, we pretty much do it all. People come in to help with their arms, their waist, their love handles, back, legs, pretty much everywhere. We also do toning on the face as well.
Yeah, now that's something that we're going to talk about. I've got these old man jowls starting here, and you're telling me that those, you might be able to tighten that up as well?
Yes. So it's actually known as a non-invasive facelift. What it does is it helps increase collagen in your skin. So that collagen is that youthful skin that babies have, really soft and smooth. It helps promote that in your skin. It'll also help kind of pull and tighten the skin and get rid of those deep wrinkles that people have.
All right, we're going to talk about that.
Okay.
I'll come and see you about that. I'm just kind of curious about how all that works.
Sure.
Now, the other side of the scale is we were talking about cryotherapy and the super cold, but then you also have what's called an infrared sauna.
Yes.
I love the heat. That dry heat is great. What is infrared?
Sure, I love it too. Infrared is basically similar to the good rays of the sun.
So the heat So infrared is passing through my skin, not causing a sunburn, but heating my. It's like I'm in a microwave.
It's kind of. Well, the infrared rays are actually, just like the vibration of the wave. So you don't get any harmful UV rays from the sun. It's just the good benefits of the infrared waves. What that does is it really helps uplift people's mood. We do have people come in to help with their stress, their anxiety, and their depression. And it's also really good for detoxing as well. You'll get a good sweat in. So it helps detox those impurities from your body.
So, is it hot? When I go into a sauna at the gym, it's the air is extremely hot.
Right.
And some people can't tolerate that. Is it like that, or because it's infrared, it's the air in the chamber is not hot?
So it's dry heat. So it's not going to be like some of the moist saunas, where you see kind of like the fogginess, things like that. It's completely dry. So it does make it more tolerable. Our saunas go up to 156 degrees.
So if I do the sauna, I would have to do the cryotherapy before I went into the sauna, because you can't be wet going into the cryo chamber, right?
Correct. That's what most people choose to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you freeze and then you go bake yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can see how that would be pretty neat.
Yeah.
And so tell me how this works. Do I pay on a per session basis, or what's your pricing structure like?
Sure. So your first time in, you would pay $9.95 for each service you would like to try. That's just excluding any body sculpting.
Okay. And then after that, what are my options?
Yeah, so after that, a lot of people like to sign up to be members, which means they would be able to come in every single month and utilize our services. And our lowest membership starts at $49.99 a month.
And does that have a limit to how many times I come? Is that just the doors open, come on in?
Sure. So some people like to come twice a month with the memberships, and some people can come daily, depending on what membership you get.
Okay. Very interesting. Who's not a candidate? Who should not be doing this?
Oh, that's a good question. There are some medical contraindications. So what we do when we have people come in, we have them fill out a medical waiver form. Obviously, our first priority is people's safety. So we want to make sure that they're medically safe to be able to get our services.
So there is a former Lures athlete who went to Notre Dame and then is now playing with the Dallas Cowboys, who is the owner of this franchise, Jaylon Smith.
Yes.
And tell me about what his influence has been on the place.
Sure. Jaylon's been great. He's very passionate about the Fort Wayne community, and he's also very passionate about health and recovery. He did sustain an injury a while back when he was at Notre Dame.
Yeah, blew out towards, man, that was ugly to watch. I remember that game, and man, he went down hard, blew his knee out bad.
Yeah. That was supposed to be a career-ending injury.
Yeah.
So he was able to kind of discover cryotherapy, during that as a way to help heal from injury and help heal his body. And ever since then, he's been a very firm believer in cryotherapy services. So
iCRYO is a franchise, so he owns this location, and you are going to expand some more? Jaylon's going to add some more locations?
Yes, he would like to open several more as well.
So you're looking southwest, I understand?
Yeah, so potentially 2 in Fort Wayne, absolutely, and then all throughout Indiana.
What didn't we talk about? There are some other services I think I might have missed. Did we miss one?
We administer local cryotherapy.
What is that?
Yes, so it's similar to the chamber. It's just spot-specific pain relief.
Oh, okay, I get it. So if I don't want to go and do the whole body thing, you concentrate in one area, hip, a knee, and ankle, or whatever that might be?
Right, yeah. It's really helpful for carpal tunnel, arthritis in the fingers and toes, shoulder pain, if someone's had surgery, maybe knee surgery or wherever, we're able to administer it in spot-specific areas.
Okay, so now you know a little bit about cryotherapy. I had a very positive experience with it, so I appreciate you opening the door for me to do that. iCRYO is located at 405 East Coliseum Boulevard, and their hours pretty widely through the week. You'll find the time to get there. Leah Eber, thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.